Hello and welcome to Reddit Reading Reactions, where we go onto Reddit, we read, and honey, we react. Today we are reading from r/relationships, and I am sorry in advance, but my voice is feeling a little croaky wokey dokey. So if I sound a little bit at times, it is not because I am gagging on the tea. It is because I am trying to breathe. Let's get reading. Posted by DF Shh. To sleep or not to sleep in the same bed. My boyfriend, 29 male, and I, 29 female, have been together for 4 years and living together for 2. About a year ago, we discovered the bliss of each having our own comforter in bed. This was due to him being an incredibly hot sleeper and me being quite a cold one. Recently, we had been sleeping apart, usually me in the bed and him on the couch, due to him having a severe cough that was waking me up multiple times during the night and causing me to get horrible sleep, thus causing resentment from me and grumpiness from lack of sleep. Now that his cough has recovered, he is back in the bed. I can't help but miss when I had the bed to myself. I was getting amazing sleep, not waking up during the night at all, and was able to sprawl out. He regularly snores, and the snoring will normally wake me up at least a couple of times during the night. He also gets up to pee at least once during the night, and that also wakes me up. Anyways, point being, I loved sleeping separately, and I even loved and looked forward to my solo wind down time before bed. My question is, does anyone else prefer to sleep separately? How does it affect your relationship? Is it really that important to sleep in the same bed? I have a weird guilt about it. TLDR, I prefer sleeping separately. Is this weird or wrong? Alright, before we even get to the comments, and there is only one comment on this right now, because I'm reading this 20 minutes after it's been posted. So, I don't think it's weird to want your own space. I don't think it's weird to sleep alone. I think it can impact a relationship if you both have different needs in terms of physical intimacy and closeness. And when I say physical intimacy, I don't mean like doing it, if you know what I mean. I mean like just being in physical contact with someone. Some people crave that and need that, and that's something really important for them in a relationship. Other people are like, please don't touch me, that makes me scream on the inside. And if you're both not on the same page about it, that can really be problematic. However, you won't know whether or not you're on the same page, or you can make compromises until you have a conversation about it. And I honestly just advise, have a conversation, be like, hey, I really actually enjoyed getting so much rest and space when I slept on my own. I'm happy to, have a couple days of the week where I sleep in the bed and you sleep on the couch, and then we'll swip it. I was gonna say switch and flip it at the same time. Well, then we'll switch or flip it. Both words work there. And I'll take the couch and you can take the bed, and maybe a couple of days in the middle of the week we can sleep in the bed together, just so if that person has needs in that way that need to be fulfilled, being physically close to someone and comforted, you guys can do that and it'll be fine. But again, entirely up to you having a conversation, because that's the first way to get around it. Like, you can get yourself all worked up and in your head about this, which is fine. I mean, we all need to process things mentally in our own ways, but don't get so worked up that you're going to expect your other half to be like, I don't like this idea, I hate this, our relationship's over. Like, don't let yourself get that far. Now, the one and only comment here is by Conscious Wear 1959. They say, honestly, sleep is so important, and I love my sleep, so I understand. There's a lot of couples who don't sleep in the same bed and even have their own rooms, and I think that's a healthy relationship. Honestly, I agree with this comment. I've heard about a lot of relationships that they do have completely different beds in different rooms, or different beds in the same room given the space that they have. And that's totally fine, like, they're completely functional, but it isn't for everyone. Posted by Performer Leather 150. My boyfriend, 22 male, is close with a girl, 22 female, that he used to crush on. What do I do? Oh gosh, okay, TLDR. 2 years ago, my boyfriend crushed on a girl for 3 years. Whoa! And is still close friends with her. I'm sorry, yeah, he's waiting. Anyway, they hang out alone together sometimes, and recently the three of us hung out, but it felt like I was third wheeling, even though she didn't treat me rudely. I am worried he has lingering feelings for her. Before I keep reading, 3 years. He's had a crush on this girl for 3 years. What makes you think it stopped at 3 years? Seriously. Alright, let's get into this. Me and my boyfriend have been dating for about 3 months now, and I've been feeling a bit uncomfortable with his relationship with a girl he's been close with since high school. He was open to me before we even started dating about how he used to crush on this girl hard for hard for 3 years before realizing it wasn't getting anywhere. Apparently she never knew he liked her, even though he tried really hard to make it known. I mean, did the bro tell her? Because that's a surefire way of letting someone know. Just be like, yo girl, I like you. Anyway, he tried really hard to make it known, and only found out through a friend that she thought of him as a good friend. His attraction to her ended around 2 years ago, according to him. Yeah, righto. Now, my boyfriend has a lot of girlfriends from elementary school and high school, most of which have partners that he's also close with. I've hung out with most of them, and I generally do not feel threatened by anyone, even though some had slight crushes on him in the past. I don't usually get jealous or feel insecure unless I feel I have a reason to be. A while back, me, him, and his girlfriend, notice the gap there guys, were hanging out because they were looking for some shoes as a present for one of their other high school friends' birthdays. She was never rude or mean to me, and is usually kind, but the whole time I felt like I was third wheeling. He would hold her jacket. Whoa, dude. He would hold her jacket, her purse, and anything else she needed held. When she laughed, she would playfully touch or smack him. Okay. On the sidewalk after, it felt like they were always beside each other, and I was kind of falling behind, even though I was holding his hand and there was room for 3 of us to walk side by side. He would stop every now and then to kiss me or hold my hand, but it really looked like they were the couple as I was watching them most of the time. I cried about it later. Sorry, I don't mean to laugh. It's just, this is wild. Like, it's so obvious that he has a thing for this girl, and she's just feeding into it, whether or not she, cares about him. She's just feeding into his ego. He's just lapping it up, and you're just like, I'm here. No, girl. I'm sorry. Like, I will keep reading this, but babes, get out now before you actually end up getting really, really hurt. Okay? Like, the chuckles are just because the audacity of the other two in the situation is just like off the charts. Okay, let me keep reading. I cried about it after the birthday party, and we talked about it. He was very understanding and told me he doesn't have feelings for her anymore, and it's only a good friendship. The way they act together makes me feel so weird though, and I never felt this way when I was hanging out with his other girlfriends, just the 3 of us. Another thing to add is that she's bi, but this whole time he's been trying to treat her as just a lesbian because it was easier for him to get over her that way. Dude, that doesn't mean, oh my gosh. Which I find strange because she made it very clear that she was bi and didn't just like women. Oh, jeez. Okay, I'm afraid he has lingering feelings. I'm sorry, like, you reckon? You think? Alright. Sorry. I'm afraid he has lingering feelings he's not addressing, and that she might end up liking him because of his glow up since high school. He kind of looks like a guy she recently hit on. Oh gosh. She also told me I was lucky and got a good man, so besides his looks, his personality is also 10 out of 10. Oh gosh. He's kind, smart, muscular, and handsome. Not only that, but he treats all his friends equally. Before I even finish that sentence, he treats all his friends equally. The behaviors that he does with this particular friend, does he do this with all of his friends? Because then you can tell me if he's treating all his friends equally. Sorry, I will continue. Not only that, but he treats all his friends equally and is always going out of his way to help someone even when it's not reciprocated. She also recently messaged the group chat to ask people if they could help her learn how to deadlift, and my boyfriend offered. He told me he's pretty sure it was directed towards him. Oh my gosh. Dude, He told me he's pretty sure it was directed towards him though, since he's the only person who deadlifts. And I don't understand why she didn't just ask him. The thing is, I know he would do anything for me, so I don't want to ask him to stop seeing her or anything, because I understand the importance of childhood friends and she hasn't done anything wrong. However, this is really getting to me and I don't know what to do, or I'm just being insecure. Okay. Alright. I know that I interrupted a lot while reading that. Look, if that's the dynamic of their friendship and it's genuinely a friendship, that is fantastic, good for them, amazing. Make sure that if you genuinely think that he treats all his friends the same, make sure that the actions and attitudes that he is showing and doing for her is reflected across the board for all of his so-called childhood friends and all friends, because according to you, he treats all his friends equally. So make sure that isn't, that is the case, or if it isn't, take a note of that. But also, you can't expect people to change. And I know that you've recognized that in your post. You're like, I don't want to ask him to stop hanging out with her. I recognize the value of childhood friends. That's very mature of you. I think that's fantastic. But as soon as you realize that that is definitively where you stand with it, and if you're still uncomfortable with this situation and you are not going to ask him to change, which is perfectly fine, it's perfectly reasonable, and you respect their friendship, you need to remove yourself from the situation, because you're going to end up having a lot of resentment for both of them, or particularly this woman, I really should say, because I know you call her a girl, but you guys are in your 20s. You're going to have a lot of resentment for this woman, or you're going to have trust issues in the future if something does come about from this. And honestly, you're only 3 months in. I know it doesn't matter if it's been 3 months or 3 years, but it sometimes does, but in this circumstance, if this is something that's making you genuinely feel uncomfortable and you are not willing to change the dynamics or have a discussion around changing this dynamic between himself and her, dip, step out, leave. Like, this is your time. Don't get 3 years in and then be like, oh, this has been going on for 3 years and there is genuinely something happening, or it evolves into something. Protect yourself, protect your energy. Let's read the comments. Old_5331 says, not gonna lie, girls do this all the time when they see a man that wanted them in a relationship. And of course your boyfriend offers to help her deadlift. The thing about this is, you never want to tell anybody what to do. You want your partner to move accordingly and respect you. I shouldn't have to tell my girlfriend not to hang out with another guy one-on-one. It's a weird situation because you already talked about this and have cried over it. I think it's a lost cause. So this is the only comment. And OP responded, I don't particularly mind him hanging out with girls one-on-one because I know them and I trust both my boyfriend and the girls he's friends with. I also have one best friend that's a guy, although he's bi-queer, that I spend a lot of time with and knew way before my BF, but my BF didn't meet him before we dated. The only difference is that neither me nor my mouth best friend have ever liked each other that way. I know his type in both genders and it's not me, lol. I'm also not friends with my exes or anyone I felt strong feelings towards. I just feel uncomfortable with my boyfriend's girlfriend. Notice the gap there. I just feel uncomfortable with my boyfriend's girlfriend because he had a crush on her for 3 years and is still treating her just the same. To him, he described getting over her as devastating, which truly shows the impact she had on him. Girl, man, OP, Performer Leather 150. Your mans ain't your mans. He's just being a placeholder in your life while he waits for her, the girl space friend, to realize that she wants to get rid of that space and be his girlfriend. And then you're going to get the flick, okay? There's no other comments on this at the moment. This was only posted 3 hours ago. Okay, honestly, in the 3 hours that you have posted this, here is your answer. Leave that man. Go and live your best life. You don't need to be worrying about things like this. You've been together for 3 months, just dip. It's not even worth it. That is all for today. I am so glad that you could stay. I am so sorry about my croaky voice, but hopefully I will sound a lot not croaky in the next video. Thank you so much, and I will see you. Actually, I won't. You will hear me in my next video. Bye.